Welcome to Hoda's Career Chat, and thank you so much for your comments last time about our promotional video. I really appreciate your comments because I made that video myself. So I'm very proud of it, but I also appreciate the critiques so that I can do better next time. Today's topic is on the minds of many parents, many students, students in school, and students going back to university or entering university for the first time. It's how do we go back to a new normal? And one of the focus is, of course, is the time has come. And okay, are you ready? So that's what we're telling our students. The time has come for you to go back to school. And what I'm highlighting today is that for students who are going to go to university for the first time, whether you've made a decision as a student or as a parent to send your child to another city or to keep them by your side, we just need to make sure that they are clear on the choices that they have made. So sometimes when I work with young students who have just completed high school, we ask, are you ready for the next move? And here's what they're thinking. I don't think so. Going to university is a total waste of my time. And if I go to a university and check their programs, I'm not even sure what to ask. So that's definitely on the minds of many students now more than before. It's getting complicated because of the pandemic. How do they go back, or how do they start in a university when they cannot even do the typical week of just getting to connect with other students, the fun activities that usually happen the first week of university? Lots to think about for these young students, and for us as parents, lots to worry about. It adds to our worries. We usually are worried about their transition. Can they do it? Or can they juggle homework and living alone? Can they really live on their own? Now we have more to think about, and that is, how are they going to manage with the pandemic, wearing the masks, social distancing, and everything that comes with it. A lot of students are considering revisiting going back to university because they're not sure of the program they chose, and also because they're not sure that they want to go through this through the pandemic. So what I have done with many of my clients is to go back and say, okay, so you're changing your mind right now. Let's talk about the length of the program. So you committed to a 4-year program. Do you still want to do that? You have a lot of choices. You can take one course that will teach you a particular skill and then try to find an opportunity with that course, with that skill that you learned. Or you can take a 1-year program or a 2-year program. So it doesn't always have to be a 4-year program. It really is important for young adults to realize that they have choices and that they need to take advantage of these choices, particularly during the pandemic. So they decided not to go back to university. I do recommend taking some online courses to help you figure out what you want to do. So when they sit down to choose the courses, I would say think about the subject you enjoyed in high school. What did you enjoy most? How can you take that to another level and take a course that would help you build on your interest and hopefully lead you to choose better a program that is a better fit for yourself. And really, even if they're starting out the university research process, this is a great way as well to do it and figure out what is the topic of interest and where do they see themselves working, where do they see themselves spending time, that in a place that they would enjoy working there. Nowadays, part of the reason that some young students are deciding not to go is because they don't want to do the online learning. They tried it in high school and it was not a good fit for them. But if they do decide to take some courses, there are two ways that courses are being delivered. There is the online live, where you are actually speaking with the professor and interacting with other students on a face-to-face online call. But there are also universities that are only offering recorded sessions. There's a lot of concern with these recorded sessions, and justifiably so, because you cannot really ask questions right off the bat. You cannot interact with other students. You are all alone, studying, listening to these recorded sessions, and then perhaps taking notes so you can ask questions later. I used to include class size, and I've kept it here because even with the online sessions, I like to limit my sessions to 6 to 8 attendees. This way everybody gets an opportunity to ask questions and participate in discussions. But there are class sizes that are 40 students or more. So that's something for students to think about. And then also, if they decide to go with a 4-year program, what are the graduation requirements? Some require a group project. Are you okay to work online with a group? Some require internships. Are you okay with online internships? So lots of topics for young students to think about as they choose programs. And most importantly, what else is important to you? That's something to think about. That's something to consider before you make any final choices. If you decide to go to university or college, decide why are you deciding. Be clear on the reasons for joining. If you decide to take a gap year, which a lot of students are doing, decide why you want that gap year. And I would also add, ask others. So if you choose a program, ask the reason they chose the program, the reason they like it, because chances are, because they like it, you may not. When they tell you, these are the reasons that I like this program, and what they do all day. So this is really important to you, is how do they spend their day? If it's via recorded sessions, how do they manage to balance all of that studying on their own? Of course, with any program, usually have a favorite class. Ask them about their favorite class and why they think it's their favorite class. What do they like about it? And when things go back to normal, there'll always be the events that happen in the school. So if you are a musician, if you're a soccer player, then these are important to you. You need to make sure that the college or university program offers that. So lots to think about this fall, lots to consider as you balance your options as a young student, whether to go to university or to stay home for a year and try to find a job or take courses online without committing to a full program. I hope this helps a little bit as you ponder what to do. And now it is time for me to answer your questions. And how we will start with the first one. All right, so this question does not have anything to do with university students or high school students. It goes like this: how do I get to a management position in retail? My client's experience and my experience, because I did work in retail for a bit, is that management position comes with seniority. And the longer you stay in the retail industry, the higher the position you will get, and there will be opportunities for you to take or not take. So definitely time is needed. Of course, your ability to learn and support your management and being there in their face. I always say networking, right? So networking is important to get to a higher position in retail. And if you stay long enough in working for one company and you find that you're not getting ahead, but you have developed the confidence and the skills, you can always move around between the retail stores. And when you see that they have a position open, definitely networking is going to get you to know that a position is open and is going to get you ahead in getting to that position. So the two things that I would say to get a management position in retail is spending time, getting seniority or experience in one store, and then keep an eye open either within your store or within the industry for managerial positions that are open, and go and network for them. You can always apply. I find networking to be a better and faster way of getting up the ladder in a retail. Okay. Past your first job, does a university degree matter? You know, we are going through a lot of that, defining the importance of a university degree nowadays, particularly when it's mostly done online. So the students are missing out on a lot of what university has to offer. I will tell you the benefits of a university degree first, and then we'll see how it helps you beyond a first job. The benefits of a university degree is very, to me, is very clear on helping you develop your organization skills. Definitely studying is important, but also it's developing the networking skills. You go to university not only to study and receive a degree. The important thing that you need to keep in mind when you go to the university, you are developing a huge social network for your future. And here's an example. You have just graduated, you can't find a job, you go to your supervisor or your professor, your favorite professor, you ask them to help you. They will be able to get you a job in their field, because while they might not be the ones hiring, they would know someone who is hiring. So that's one way of developing the social network and using it. Another one are your friends in class. They can get to a position in a company that you may want to join in a few years down the line. You can always reach out to them. They know who you are. They know your work ethics. They will be able to help you. So that's the benefit of a university degree. It's not just getting a bachelor of something and using it to get higher pay as you start out with your first job. That is definitely a thing. It is important. Having a bachelor degree will get you, even if we are talking minimum wage, will get you a higher minimum wage than someone with a high school degree. So there's definitely that one advantage. But also it's all the other skills you develop while you are attending university, which you will gather from being involved in extracurricular activities, social clubs, and in working during the summer, where either you get internships or, we were talking about retail positions. Even working in retail will connect to your university degree. More importantly, if you're doing a business degree, but even in any other degree you are doing, if you work in retail, again, you are developing new skills, customer service, juggling work and studying, among others. Past your first job, does a university degree matter? If we put everything else I said aside, no, it doesn't, because usually it doesn't, because employers will look at what you have done in the past years, at your skills and experience. But sometimes some prestigious universities will get you into the alumni program of that university. And yes, it will matter for your life, because you'll always say, I'm a this and this university graduate, so I don't go pick a university. And then your alumni network will say, oh, this person graduated from the same university I did. I'm gonna look, closer at their at their resume or at their experience to see if we can do something. So it definitely, it's all about social network, plus of course the importance of the degree, and that's how it would matter past your first job. All right, the next question, where can I add a resume on LinkedIn? Okay, so yes, there is no specific place to add a resume on LinkedIn. So that's a very good question. The way to do it is to go on your profile and add a document. So you will store it in the documents. So you go document, upload resume, and you upload it. It's really that simple. But yes, there is no resume button, I guess, on LinkedIn to do that way. You have to upload it on documents. And every profile page has a documents section where you, and even when it says share a post, you will see you can either write right away, or you can share a photo, a video, and the last one is usually share the document, and that's where you can share your document. And you can put it under your featured posts. It will, there are 3 dots at the top of your post where you can say make it a featured post, and that is where you would put your resume. And I would definitely advise to put the details of your resume on your LinkedIn profile. The profile has a lot of, excuse me, the profile has a lot of like bullets that you can fill out, experience, education, skills, and you should try to fill out as much as you can that is specifically relevant, of course, to the job you are seeking and you are hoping to get. So where can I add it? You go to documents, you upload it on documents, and recruiters will know to find it there. Should I use a professional service to update my resume? That's a very good question. If you feel that you are not confident that your resume is good enough, then the answer is definitely yes. There are a lot of templates online that you can use and update yourself. But I would say if you do not want to pay for a professional service, then by all means have a friend edit it for you. I would recommend the professional services as a base. That would be your base template. So if you've never had a professional service do a professional resume writer do your resume, I would definitely recommend it, because then you can use it as your base. I've worked with a lot of clients who come to me with a base resume that is very nicely done. And then they use that because, it's edited well, there are no spelling mistakes, no grammar mistakes, and then it looks nice. And then when you go to apply to different positions, you do have to adjust it anyway, but then you are starting with a good base. And if you cannot afford to pay for a professional resume writer, then definitely have 2 or 3 of your friends edit it for what they think is wrong. So grammar is definitely one, spelling, and then also formatting. You want it all to be uniform and looking nice and presentable. And then, of course, you need to know what to include in a resume. So if you've never done one, if you've never had a resume done by a professional resume writer, definitely get one. And if you have, then you can just build on it and make it compatible with the job you are applying to. All right, so now it's time to move on to my quotation that I'd like to give you with until next week. I call it the quotation for your weekly reflection, but you can think of it as whatever you want. It is something that will help keep you going, keep you moving forward in your job search, or in your figuring out your career direction, or if you are figuring out whether to change jobs. You never know what doors are going to open up and why they are going to open up. You have got to be ready to walk through them. That's by Holt. That's what one of the things we have talked about today is the university. Be open to exploring new opportunities. So if you have decided not to go to university, that's okay. If you have decided to seek a management position in retail, always keep your eyes open for opportunities. That's why I say talk to your manager, see when opportunities are opening in the neighbors' stores, and then you can get ahead and you can get what you want just by keeping yourself open to new opportunities and new exploratory experiences. Thank you so much for attending today's Hoda's Career Chat. We have 3 more chats left for the summer. And then I'll come back in the fall with a new look and new type of Hoda's Career Chat. Stay tuned and check out my website, alwaysrightcareerfit.com, to learn more about the events and other opportunities and complementary services that I offer. I'm also on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, WordPress, Pinterest, YouTube, SoundCloud, and Facebook. So make sure you follow me on all or one of these social media websites that you like or enjoy usually to read. And I will see you next week. Until next week, stay positive and keep moving forward.